Today, we will use a real-world inspired use case, a Montreal-based drug ring utilizing a chain of companies for their money laundering activities. This is going to showcase how graph analytics can drastically improve the efficiency of AML investigators to investigate the suspicious activity alerts and trace the ultimate beneficiaries. My name is Sanjay, and I'm a special advisor for GoodLabs Financial Crime Studio for AML and compliance. At GoodLabs, we help financial institutions engineer financial crime solutions to effectively navigate the complex landscape of anti-money laundering regulations and compliance requirements. In this demo, I'll demonstrate how an AML analyst can leverage graph database Neo4j to investigate alerts, and with the out-of-the-box visualization tool Bloom, perform the money trail analysis, unwrap complex nature of layering and integration, identify connections between transactions, entities, and accounts to trace the ultimate beneficiaries. The AML analyst will start off looking at the assigned alert. Let's take a look what alerts we have. As we can see, there are 4 alerts in the system. Let's say the analyst has been assigned to work on ID 1. Let's remove the other alerts to focus on this one. If we look at the alert itself, by putting the mouse over the alert, we can see that this alert was triggered due to cash structuring. So multiple cash deposits totaling near 10K in the past 7 days, totaling for an amount of 9,800. Let's now drill down on how the alert was triggered. One of the useful tips for using graph analysis on the visualization side is to expand the relationship of each node as much as possible to allow the analyst to see the full picture and find relationships. We can see that this alert was triggered by 3 different transactions. And looking at these transactions by hovering on each one, we can see that each of these transactions were made through 3 different ATMs. The first one was triggered on the 20th of December for 3,700. This one was triggered on December the 16th for $3,000. And this one was triggered on December the 18th for $3,100. Let's take a look and to see which account this cash deposit went into and see the other two if there's any relationship forming. Interesting. So we can see all 3 cash deposits are related to this account where it was deposited into, account number 8022. We can then now determine who is the owner of this account. Let's take a look. We can see that the account holder is Boutique de Coin Montreal, who's an internal customer. Because it's an internal customer, we can now look to see if there's any other accounts held by this entity. And we can see there is one other account ending in 8021. Let's leave that for the moment and focus on the money trail for the account in question where the cash deposits went into. Let's see where they leave to then. Interesting. So we can see the funds left this account and left into 7 different accounts, 6 of which are external accounts or external customers. Therefore, we're limited on tracing these any further. However, we do see one internal account that the fund money flow went into. Let's take a look further into that account and see what we find. We'll start off first determining who owns this account. We can see it's owned by Fresh Harvest Supermarket. Now, as it's an internal customer, let's take a look to see if there's any other accounts related to this account. So we can see this entity owns 2 other accounts, 8031, 8032. Again, we want to follow the money trail. So let's leave these for the time being and look at the money flow from this account ending in 8033. Interesting again. So we can see this is becoming a bit more complicated. Funds left this account into an external numbered company, Alberta Inc. Again, because external, we're limited with following the money trail further. However, we do see these other accounts, and let's take a look to see any further information we can deduct from that. So let's take a look first who owns this account. So we can see this account left to another account ending in 8031. And on that specific account, there was two alerts triggered. If we hover our mouse over, we can see that these two alerts, alert ID 2 was triggered for elevated transaction frequency. Alert number 3 was also triggered for elevated transaction frequency. Generally, other analysts will be assigned these alerts, so there may be some opportunity to collaborate later on. But it's interesting how this visualization tool was able to visualize this and bring it to our attention. Let's take a look to see now where the money flow went from this account. We can see it went to two external entities, this numbered Quebec company and Crunch Fitness. Also, it went to another internal account, 8041. Let's take a look at the money flow. We can see that the funds went to two additional external customers. Let's also check to see who owns this account. So this account is owned by an entity, internal customer, Prime Cut Meat and Packaging. Let's take a look to see if there's any other accounts owned by this customer, and we can see there are none. So far in the analysis, we've investigated and come to the conclusion that there are three entities involved: Prime Cut Meat Packaging, Fresh Harvest Supermarket, and Boutique de Coin Montreal. Let's take a look to see if there's any other accounts or any connection between this account to see what we find. What's some money flow? Interesting. So we can see that the money flow from Boutique de Coin Montreal left to this account. There was four other external entities. However, the funds also originally went to this numbered Quebec company. We can see there's definitely a pattern where funds are originated to this beneficiary. Now, as you can see, things are getting a little bit complicated. Let's see if there's a simple way that we can look at these accounts and how they connect to our ultimate beneficiary, the numbered Quebec company, and make our analysis a bit more clean and structured. What we can do to do that is we can take a look at our external customer, the numbered Quebec company. So let's clear the scene. Let's take a look at the external customer. This is the one we're looking at, so let's remove all the others. Now let's take a look at the internal customers that we had identified. There was three of them. So now we have our ultimate beneficiary account in question, and we have the three internal entities we've identified in this complex money flow. We now want to see how these three entities are connected to this external beneficiary account. What is the shortest path? We can do that by highlighting our external customer and looking at each of these entities. And it's simple as looking at the shortest path. Let's do that for the other entities and see what we come up with. So now we can see the three internal customers. We can see the accounts identified and how each of these accounts are leading to our ultimate beneficiary. What this will do is when the analyst is then writing up their suspicious transaction reports, we now are able to support that report with a robust visualization tool of the multiple alert triggers and the unusual money flow between unrelated entities pointing to an unknown beneficiary.